Welcome back to the Compound Podcast, presented by Parse Rum. My favorite rum, your favorite rum. I don't know if you know this, but Zach's on his phone and Dakota's on their phones to start the episode.
Not.
Oh, a couple of guys looking at
I'm
their
reading
phones.
about the minor league lawsuit, and we're going to get some money.
It's all right. You guys are just going to have higher screen times than me. I
100%
think it's the perfect time of year to be drinking Parse rum. And if you're thinking about a gift for the holidays, if you're thinking about, I'm going to go, and it's going to be Thanksgiving soon, I'm going to be with my family, and I'm going to see some people I haven't seen in a while, spread a little bit of thanks with a bottle of Parse rum.
A little bit of thanks.
But
And you're planting a tree at the same time. While you're
Yep.
buying a gift for somebody, you're also planting a tree and saving the earth. Can't beat that.
Talk about making somebody happy than making the world happy. You know,
That's all.
that's what it comes down to.
That's what it's all about.
I have to start this episode by saying this weekend I was in Chicago to celebrate my great friend Danny Mueller's wedding. You guys both know Danny.
I do.
Danny got married. It was a absolutely beautiful ceremony and celebration, and had a wonderful, wonderful time. Got to see some old friends, some old Cubby employees, and, well, I guess they're all employees, but players and staff members. And it was really, really great.
How old is Danny?
31.
He was so good to us in big league camp.
Oh, he's a goat.
The best.
He was one of the people, too, that would still remember our names after we got sent down to minor league camp, which doesn't always happen, surprisingly.
No.
Some people will, as soon as you get sent down, you're back to being dirt again.
Cutthroat.
Danny is not that guy.
Ian, is that not true? That is
No,
a
it
fact.
is true, but not for Danny.
No, not for Danny. That's what I mean. That's why he's awesome, because he still texts me randomly every now and then talking about the pod. Like, I might
Yep.
get a text about this once he listens.
You
I hope so. This is a test.
This is a test.
Danny is the best clubhouse guy in the game. He is so good at his job, and he's just a really kind, thoughtful person, and I love him very much. And it was really, really awesome to see him get married to Gracie, his wonderful wife, who is also fantastic. It's my shout out for Danny for the pod.
I was gonna say, you giving him a fluff, hoping he'll give you some free gear, a little extra gear next year.
Well, free gear.
I was gonna say free. It's
Instead of
already
making me
free,
flip him
but-
20s for a pair of shorts.
You're good for it if you need to. So you got the money.
Good point.
Do you guys want to talk about the Gold Glove ceremony that I was at?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to talk about myself for a while. My weekend.
Sure do.
I flew. I was in Chicago, and then I flew to. Last time we talked, I was in Chicago. See, now I'm in Austin again.
We know
Told
you're in
you I'd be
Austin because you got your psycho wall behind you.
I will. Yep.
Yep.
Second wall. I will be in a different city every time we record for the rest of the times that we record. I was in Chicago, and then I flew Friday morning to New York for the Gold Glove ceremony, and then I flew back Saturday morning for Danny's wedding. But the ceremony was really, really cool. I did not know they were going to give me my actual glove, like, for next year with the patch on it. We texted about this.
How cool is that?
Dude, I mean, I got there and I was like checking in, and then they were like, "Hey, we got something for you." And I opened the box and was like, "Oh." They were filming me too, and I was kind of overwhelmed, but it was so cool to see, like, my exact glove, my model. I think I had one made exactly like that for next year, and then I think I have a different color too, but to see that with the gold, like, to have my name on the glove with the gold patch was so
I mean,
surreal.
I for one would have gotten emotional like when I saw that. And like it's funny that I was going to ask you, were they filming you, or was that kind of like staged? Because there was a video on Twitter, and I was like, it's kind of impressive, because I feel like I would have been not at a loss of words, but like you said, kind of overwhelmed, didn't really know what to say. Like that would have 100% been me.
Yeah, they were kind of filming because I was like signing some stuff, and they were filming kind of the whole thing. And then they had it was right next to the trophy. So they were kind of filming the whole time. And I really was. They did a good job of editing that 10 seconds to not make me look stupid, because I kind of was at a loss for words and stumbling. But it was like hard to not get emotional. And like, you just think about all those years and all the times as a kid that you were like thinking about that and like trying to be, this, what you see on TV. But the coolest part about the whole ceremony was just like, they bring so many guys back that have won like Ozzie Smith was there. Andrew Jones was getting an award. Trying to think, there were so many guys, and I don't want to leave anybody out, but I'm going to. Matheny, Don Mattingly, just so many dudes, and it was so cool to be around that like pedigree and like guys that have won that award so many times and that you look up to as a kid, and then watching Nolan win his 10th in a row, just like kind of put
was
that in
that
perspective.
Well, 10th in a row and then 5th platinum,
6th. What?
That's disgusting.
It's gross.
How do you not get into a fucking filming slump in 10 years?
And even the coolest thing, he hits 300 too. Like he just rakes too.
That's why he's paid.
I've heard about him. Like I've heard he is the biggest baseball rat of all time. And like I'll hear things like he'll go out in the field with like just his bat at like 2:00 in the outfield. Again, this is all.
Oh my god!
This is all just people.
You would live in his pocket.
No, I think that's just so cool. If it's somebody who's like
you'd stalk him. He'd file charges against you.
Like
just holding his pocket, walking around.
Literally, it'd be like prison. Like he'd be holding his pocket. Like Nolan, what are we doing now? Like teach me.
Are you done?
I want to play some glove too, please, Nolan.
Yeah, that'd be fucking sick.
No, and that's not even a knock on you. You are also a baseball rat.
It felt like a little bit of a knock.
Well, it was just because I know Zach and I know that he would just absolutely stalk him and try to and be best friends with him. Like he would make himself be best friends with Nolan
in the best way possible.
In a good way. In a good way. Like we did with Ian. We forced our way into Ian and now he loves us. Happens, you know?
Same guy. You have anything else, Zach, or that's it? That's all you had?
What the what am I getting, dog? Tom, do you see this?
It's tough. It's tough for you right now.
What the fuck? I thought that was a good job.
All right.
No,
I'm
you know
keep
what,
going.
Ian? You look like a fool on Twitter on that video. How about that? Okay.
What I was gonna say.
Well,
what I was gonna say though is for Ian stumble over words, that's how you know it was a big thing because Ian he's a professional. Like you don't ever get like nervous.
Yeah, Ian, let's talk about you. Let's talk about you fumbling over your words.
Like me right
Ian.
now, the way I'm fumbling, like I don't know what to say. Like you never do that. Like an interview, because you're a marketer. You know what you're doing.
I'm a media. I'm part of the media.
Because you're always networking, so you know what to do.
The other thing that I didn't realize was going to happen there is I didn't realize that they were going to have the actual your actual trophy. I didn't really get to spend that much time with it. I literally like picked it up and took a picture. And now thinking back, like I should have gone on stage after and actually like spent some time and like seen it. But like seeing your name on it with the glove and everything, it's exactly your model that you used in gold. And it's a real glove. It's not metal. It's a real glove. You can take it off of the stand and like play catch with it. Yes.
No.
On the trophy?
Yes.
Nah, that can't be right.
Yes.
See, there's no way that thing's not metal. Like
No,
it's
it's
like
metal.
molded.
No.
Hang on.
You're gonna have to like show us on the pod.
I will show you once they're
going
gonna send it to me. Once I get it, I will show you.
Okay.
Oh my God, he's right.
It's a real glove made of leather in gold,
It is. Oh shit.
which is insane.
That's crazy.
But I will once I get it, we can talk more about it. And I'll bring it as a guest on the pod.
As a guest, we'll interview.
Speaking of guests on the pod, I vowed to get us guests this offseason. Now the baseball's done. And I went out there and I pounded the pavement. Okay. I'm not
Did
going to
you?
name names.
Did you?
I'm not going to name names.
You did?
There's I have like a list of guests that's like, you better text these people a full week in advance if you want to set it up.
Did you do
And
that?
then I have like a last minute list. I went into my week in advance list, texted a few people, actually one that I was like, this is going to work. I was like,
Did
this
you get
person just-
ghosted by the person
No.
I think
Well,
I'm
kind
thinking
of, pretty much. Not like
Yeah.
ghosted, but like, how are you not texting me back? This is frustrating. And when that person finally comes on the pod, we will know who it is. And that was tough for me. And then so later like I said, traveling all over the place. Then later in the week, maybe Saturday, Sunday, I texted another friend and I was like, this person's talked to me about coming on the pod. They'd love to come on. They had a conflict, couldn't make it. And so I reached out to the compound group text and I said, boys, I'm struggling. What do we got? And Dakota
And who stepped up?
stepped up. Okay. This is Dakota's guest.
In the moment of need.
Dakota hasn't prepared at all for the guest, but we won't say that.
I don't need to prepare. What do I need to prepare? I played with the guy.
This is we do a lot of preparation.
I
on this
gave
pod.
you 3 questions already as topics.
Oh,
Did I not?
is that so? So would you like to intro the guest, or do you want me to intro the guest?
You're rolling.
Before I tell the viewers who this guest is,
They
The
won't.
guest's
They won't
name is
know.
in the title. Everyone knows who the guest is.
It's not like a secret.
Yeah, I have to put it in the title.
nah, feels like a secret. Feels like a secret. Feels like a secret.
Everyone knows.
You know what?
I'm sorry.
This is-
Breaking
We
news.
have
It's
to put it in
Justin
the title.
Steele.
This is
It's Justin
stupid.
Steele, in case you
This is stupid.
This is karma. This is karma for you being mean.
I'm leaving the pod.
I miss when Ian edited, so we didn't edit shit and just like this right here would just stay because we're like, it takes too long. Like, let's just go. With it.
We speaking
Well,
French, we would say that
by
because
we,
wouldn't
I
say
meant,
that.
like,
I
the
would say
royal
that because
we,
I was
like,
the one
the
up editing
royal
this
we.
shit while you were watching goddamn Harry Potter and fucking
Oh, like you weren't watching it too.
Entourage.
Like you didn't have it on.
I couldn't watch because I was too busy editing this with my headphones in.
for hours.
I want to talk about athletic greens, okay? Because if there's one person that drinks his athletic greens every day and epitomizes athleticism, it's Justin Steele. Justin Steele, AG1.
That's right.
That's like, I'm surprised Justin doesn't have an AG1 tattoo on his forehead for how athletic he is, huh?
You should see him hit a golf
Dakota
ball.
is on his phone. I'm trying to go and
I'm
do an ad
texting
with you.
Our
and you're
guest,
texting,
making sure
and you're
he's
texting.
prepared.
I'm sick and tired of it. Okay. But you know what? I'm not sick and tired of athletic greens because I have them every day now. I'm an athletic green guy. Tom loves this ad. I'm an athletic green guy. Okay. When I don't have time, which is every day, and I need more energy, I put AG1 in some water. I mix it all up and it tastes great. Tastes great. It has 75 high quality minerals, vitamins, whole food source superfoods, and probiotics. AG1. Get your AG1. Athletic Greens. They're going to give away 1 free 1-year supply of immune supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. athleticgreens.com/compound. athleticgreens.com/compound. And you get the 5 free travel packs. I used on my trip. On my
I
trip.
don't believe you. I don't believe that you used it.
Yes, on my trip. I'm trying to tell you. I just went on this trip. I
No.
packed 7. I was gone for a week. Maybe I was gone for 9 days.
Cap.
9 days. I packed 9 Athletic Greens travel packs, and I took a shaker from Wrigley, and I drank Athletic Greens every day.
Do you wish you would have tried it sooner then?
Yes. Okay. If I'm going to be honest, I wish I was drinking it all season. I probably would have hit those 3 more pumps I needed to get to 20. Can we talk about Justin Steele really quick? Okay.
Yes.
Before Justin gets on, which is in just a couple seconds, Justin made 24 starts this year. He had a 3.18, 119 innings. Might be the most innings of his career. Tom, look that up. See if he ever threw more than that in the minor leagues. 119 innings. He's a new dad. Son Bo. Great year. Great year from Justin.
Unreal year. Sneaky, really good year.
Sneaky, really good year. He took over that starting role. That second half he came out of the break and just absolutely dominated in the second half. And it was really fun to watch. Tom?
His minor league high was with Zach and Dakota in 2017 in Myrtle Beach, 98 innings. It's the first time he's ever eclipsed 100.
98. First time he's ever thrown over 100.
And he had TJ 3/4 of the way through that year.
I remember that. Do you remember where we were, Dakota?
Frederick is
Yeah.
what it's called. Frederick Keys.
Yep.
Because he played catch the day after. We'll talk about this more when he comes on. But I remember because the next day he went and played catch. And they're like, yeah, let a couple go, see how it feels. And I was watching, I go, oh, he's fine. He's throwing hard. And he goes, that hurt a lot. And I was like, well, why'd you keep throwing then? He goes, I don't know. And it was torn. But it was weird because he was still playing catch the next day. He finished his outing. He's like, man, my elbow feels like shit.
Let's go. How y'all doing?
What's up, brother? How you
Fantastic.
doing?
Doing good. Played in a tournament day with 3 of my buddies. We played decent, but it was a lot of fun. And then just got home, ate some dinner, hanging out with Bo and Lib.
Love that.
Are you in Chicago?
No, I'm back home at my
Oh, okay.
mom's in Mississippi.
Oh, Mississippi boy.
hmm
I saw you on the tractor.
Yeah, I'm just moving hay,
Never forget your roots. You get some showtime, don't matter.
The two tractors I was driving to, one is literally from like 69 and the other one's like a 19 model, 2019. So it's like I'm driving two tractors that are just complete opposite of one another.
Dakota, you know about that. You know about driving two tractors.
That's me. I'm a real handyman. That's me.
Thank y'all for having me. This is quite the honor. I'm a weekly listener.
I love that so much.
That's what I told him, that because when you texted me last week or like 2 weeks ago, I was like, let's go. I was like, Steele loves it.
Yeah, listen all the time. Those times during the season, I'd go up to Hap and like make a comment about one of the episodes or whatever.
It's awesome when we hear that. I think it's so funny. I think it's more funny than anything. It's just like your boys listening to you talk baseball that you talk about every single day of all day.
I've gotten to a point where like I hardly listen to music unless it's like in season or something. Like all season, all I do is listen to podcasts.
I'm the same way, honestly.
Yeah,
because like
especially during football.
Yeah, or if like a new album comes out or something, obviously. But podcasts are way more interesting.
I agree.
Steely, tell me about being a dad in the off season. This is your first off season as a dad. Bo, the best. What do you got?
Mm-hmm. Dude, he's the man. He's huge. He's 4 months now. It's like just under 20 pounds. But it's been really good to spend a lot of time with him this offseason. Him and my family. It's been nice. We've been home for about a week now. Been good seeing everybody. Yesterday was Bo's barbecue. So, like, it was everybody's first time to meet him and stuff. And that's why I was moving hay around. We were, like, blocking the wind from blowing in and, like, destroying everything. But, yeah, he had his barbecue yesterday. Everybody showed up and met him for the first time. So it was really good.
I was just having a conversation the other day about, like, being a baseball player and having kids or being on our schedule, being part of, and you get like 2 days. Like you go for the birth and then you're there for like a day and then you're back with the team. And with our schedule, you're traveling so much, like it's really tough. And I think like you went through that. How was that? Just like the beginning when you're trying to spend as much time with your family as possible, but you got the commitments of being a baseball player?
Yeah, it was kind of a roller coaster because like she started dilating or whatever, and you got to get to like 4 centimeters, and she was at 2 for like a week and a half or something. So like we were kind of just like waiting to go, like as I was like still playing and pitching and whatnot. And then I think when y'all went to it was when y'all went to the Dodgers. And she was like due any day. That's like when we started the paternity leave or whatever, just because like it was across the country. And if she was to go into labor, while we were over there, there was like a good chance I would like not be there for it. So when y'all went on that trip was when I was able to take the paternity leave. And then he ended up being born on my birthday, which is like really cool. So
I didn't know special.
That. Yeah, definitely the coolest birthday present ever.
That's
seeing him.
Sick. Wow.
Born. It was really special.
Also, I was thinking like in season with a kid. I feel like obviously you had an unreal second half, so this didn't happen often. But I feel like for me, I always look at like if you go out and have a bad outing and you come home and you see your baby, it's like, I don't care. Like you're not near as mad about how you just pitched if you come home and you see a little boy.
Yeah, it definitely like opens your eyes in different ways and gives you a different perspective on things. Definitely that though. There was definitely an outing where like I gave up like 2 or 3 runs or something, and like Libby and I were talking about the game and stuff, and I get home and I like see him and like everything just goes away,
Yeah.
All the stresses of work and whatnot. But it definitely like it kind of set, I would say it kind of set a fire under me too, like having that responsibility of being a dad and stuff, and made me focus a little more, work a little harder. It just kind of opens your eyes to things.
For sure.
Talk to me about that second half, about making 24 starts and then really like learning how to be a starting pitcher in the big leagues. What was that thing or number of things that you learned that you were able to really flip that switch and be the guy that you were towards the end of the season?
Yeah, I mean, even like the second half of last year when I was starting and stuff, I kind of just always felt like the thing I was missing is just kind of like consistency in the zone, locating pitches and whatnot. And I just feel like as the year played out this year, I just kind of got better and better with that. Just, moving my four seam around, manipulating the cut and the ride and whatnot, and then throwing the slider off of it. I feel like the slider, last year was kind of one of the first few years using it. I feel like I really took even a bigger step forward this year with it, being able to locate it where I want it and whatnot. And I think them two pitches kind of, is what separated me this year from last year, especially in the second half. I was able to really hone in on them two pitches. And then, if I was facing a guy where it kind of, told me that I need to throw a changeup or a two seamer, I throw two seams into lefties and stuff, just mixing in them other pitches and just making sure I was sticking to them to my bread and butter.
I think for sure too, I noticed at least because me and Zach played with you in 17, like coming up and all that. Back in like Myrtle, it was literally like you were a starter then. And it was more just like, here's the fastball. Like, you're just going to throw the shit out of your fastball. It's like, it might cut, it might two seam, but like, they're not going to hit it. And then you'll throw a curveball. And I feel like this year, getting the consistency of being a starter the whole year too, you were able to work on like, all right, like, I want the ball to do this. I can make it do this versus like, we'll just throw the shit out of it and we'll see what happens. Like, it was cool to see because like, I could tell a lot since we played with you in 17, how much you've like matured as a pitcher, So that was just sick for me to watch, at least.
Yeah, I mean, and there's still definitely the moments where I'm just like, all right, I'm just going to heave this thing over the plate. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, you get 0-2 or something. You're like, throw as hard as I can. We'll see what happens.
What I noticed is the ability for you to really dominate that glove side, to pitch inside and open guys up for that slider. And then as we talked throughout the year, it felt like you started to learn hitters and the way that you were going to start at bats and finish at bats and how that played out for the second time through the order. We talked about, what if I start a guy with a curveball, what is that? I felt like you were just learning throughout the season. Just talk us through, like, as you made those starts, what were some of those things that you learned just going through the year?
I think a lot of it was just like kind of getting comfortable out there, pitching at Wrigley or whatever big league stadium we were in. But definitely a big factor was like facing teams multiple times. So like I think I ended up facing the Brewers like 6 times. So I mean, seeing the same guys in the box over and over again, you learn to like see what your pitches are doing to them in different situations and whatnot. And, like facing the Brewers, I feel like I was just getting better and better as I was facing them more because I was just seeing them swing at my pitches. And, if I see one thing that they're not hitting, I'll just kind of keep going to it. And then that kind of relays into like getting deeper into games, going through an order like 3 times. I feel like I took some big steps forward this year, like facing a lineup multiple times. Feel like last year, especially like one outing I think back to is the Cardinals last season. And like once I got 3rd time through the order, they were just kind of almost predicting what I was going to throw and, hammering it. And I feel like this year I did a lot better job of, mixing things up and, finding ways to get through the order that 3rd time.
I was going to say, it's so frustrating for a hitter, like when you're starting facing a guy like 3-4 times in like a month, where it's like you just keep getting dominated. And it's funny because sometimes it goes the opposite way, where it's the more you see a pitcher, especially like out of the pen, like it's like, I'm way more comfortable facing this guy. But as a pitcher, as a starter, you're like, I've seen so many of these at bats and swings. It's like, okay, now I kind of have an idea of what we're going with and try to combat it. I think as that's the hardest part, because you're like, they've seen me and I've seen them. It's like, all right, now you're like, you can go with anything almost.
Exactly. And I feel like one of the weirdest games I had this year, like one of the weirder lineups I faced was the Rays. And it was because like, I think Bowling Green was the last time we faced the Rays or something. Yeah. And I had no idea how these guys are doing this year. So I remember I had to like actually look at their numbers, look at what they hit, what they don't hit and stuff. I remember that was a weird one because like we obviously hadn't played them in the season at that point, but I don't remember facing them like at any point in the minors. And I feel like that happens a lot. Like I remember facing a guy in the minors or something, and that kind of can, help me or sway me one way or another with a pitch.
Yeah, because you get like the reports and everything, obviously, that tell you like what their weak spots are, this and that. But like, it doesn't tell you how your pitch plays to their weak spot. You know what I mean? Like your 2-seam to Christian Yelich is different than another lefty's 2-seam to Christian Yelich. So like seeing them and then facing them multiple times, it's like, he really struggles with that. I can go back to it.
Yeah. And it's like you face them and like you say, just like you Yelich 2-seam in, like you get a lot more comfortable once you've done it multiple times. Like I've thrown this 2-seam inside to Christian Yelich multiple times now. Like I feel a lot more comfortable doing it now than the first time I faced him.
For sure.
Yeah, first time facing Goldschmidt. Just you look up at the board, he's hitting 350 with a 1200 OPS. Like once you get him out a couple of times, you're like, all right, I can get this guy out.
It's possible.
He got me good last year. I fared decently well against him this year, but I mean, he is an intimidating at bat. Like you cannot just throw a cookie up there. Like it's intimidating.
And he doesn't swing at balls.
Yeah, he doesn't swing at balls. That's the thing. It's like, gosh.
Talk us through your off season. What are your off season plans? When do you start throwing? What's it look like for you?
Started throwing like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, just playing catch. I've been going like 3 or 4 times a week, no further than 90, 120, which I don't even really do that in the regular season. Like I get back to like 120. That's about as far as I'll go. But I'm getting the arm moving, lifting weights and stuff, doing my normal stuff. Out in Arizona, I've been going to the facility to do all my stuff. So got Keegan Knoll and Nate's going to be out there soon, so that'll be good. And then, yeah, we bought a house out in Arizona, so we're home right now for Thanksgiving. And then we'll probably go up to Connecticut to see her family for Christmas. So full off season ahead.
It's nice to be able to go into the facility there and use it. I know last year was a little bit different for everybody, but to actually be out there and, he referred to Keegan as our major league strength coach, and then our major league PT is going to be out there for at least a week or so. So it's nice to be able to work with that staff and see those guys.
It's so nice to have that and just to be able to communicate with them and like be on the same page with them. It was definitely a lot different last year.